Today, we're going through the top 10 most valuable cards from the Chaos Rising set, which has only been out for about 5 or 6 weeks. And now might even be a great time to pick up any of the cards that you want, as the value of these cards have tanked a fair bit since release. So whether you just really like a card or you're looking to master set Chaos Rising, it could be a great shout to pick them up at these prices. But without much further ado, let's get into the video. At number 10 is the Xerneas Illustration Rare. This is a beautiful card, and I pulled the Japanese version from Ninja Spinner. This card released at around £32 or $42, but has now dropped to about £9 or $12. Number 9 is the Froakie Illustration Rare, which released at around £41 or $54, and it's now sitting at around £10 or $13 for an amazing card. This card is gorgeous and connects to the rest of the evolution line. At number 8, we have the Mega Greninja EX Full Art, which was released at around £60 or $80 and is now tanked to £13 or $17. I know the Full Arts aren't typically as popular as the illustration rares, but I like what they've been doing with them lately, with the Megas as the art and then the normal form behind them. At number 7 is Roxy's Performance, which released at around £83 or $110, which is now tanked down to around £22, £23 or $30. And to me, this was expected. These trainer or waifu cards are typically more popular in the eastern regions of the world, so I imagine this card from those versions of the sets to retain their value a little better, but they don't get out as much love in the western regions. The card needs to be really cool, like Morty's with Conviction, with the Gengar coming out of the ground in order for that to happen. Personally, I don't play the TCG or have much love for the trader or supporter card, so when I pull something like this card, I'm not overly ecstatic, and it's not something that I would go out and buy. At number 6, we have the only other trainer or supporter card, and that's AZ's Tranquility, which I can see why it's a little higher in value. The artwork is very nice. It features the Floette, but again, still not something I'd pick up unless I was master setting. This released at around £94 or $125 and is now tanked to about £30 or $40. And at number 5, we have the first Pokemon Special Illustration Rare on the list, and that's the Mega Floette EX, which is a nice card and a beautiful artwork. I still don't understand why the middle evolution of Flabébé got a Mega though. Nevertheless, this card released at a whopping £227 or $301 and has now bottomed out at a very reasonable £33 or $44, which for a special illustration rare with a super nice artwork isn't that bad, but it's not an extremely popular Mega in a set that probably isn't seen as one of the best. At number 4 is the Mega Dragalge EX Special Illustration Rare, and this is personally one of my favorite cards in the set. This released at around £134 or $178 and is now tanked to £38 or $50, which again is somewhat reasonable. It is a beautiful piece of art, and again, I just don't think it's a super popular Mega or a super popular Pokemon, and the set isn't getting as much love as it probably should. The third most expensive card in this set, and the best one that I've pulled from Chaos Rising, is the Cinccino EX Special Illustration Rare, which released at around £189 or $251 and has now fallen to around £60 or $80. Now, this is a nice card, but I don't think the design goes as hard as the Dragalge, and I'm not a huge fan of this Pokemon, but I know these cute Pokemon have a huge fan base, which may be why this card has retained its value a little better. The second most expensive card from Chaos Rising is, of course, the Mega Greninja Gold card. This has been somewhat a recurring theme from the Mega Evolution era. This one released at a whopping £302 or $400, which has since fallen to £186 or $247, which for a gold card for a popular Pokemon, I think is around expected. I know the set isn't super popular, but Greninja as a Pokemon is somewhat popular, so I don't see this getting super low. Plus, you have to factor in that it is a nice card and it is super rareable. Finally, the most expensive card from the Chaos Rising set is, of course, the Mega Greninja Special Illustration Rare, which is to be expected. This is the top chase. It follows the theme from the Special Illustration Rare being more valuable than the gold card throughout most of the Mega Evolution era. It's a popular Pokemon. It's a cool design, which connects to the artwork of the rest of the evolutionary line in the Frigadia and the Froakie. This card released at a huge £453 or $602, which is a little more than the Team Rocket's Mewtwo Special Illustration Rare from Destined Rivals, more than the Red Victini cards from the Black Bolt and White Flare are currently sitting at now, and has fallen to less than half the original value of £197 or $262, which is crazy. Personally, I think we'll see the value of this set and the cards inside fall a little lower, especially with the release of Pitch Black coming around the corner very soon, which unfortunately I did not get a Pokemon Center pre-order for. And then after that, we have Storm and Marauder, which is a Japanese version of the set we're getting after Pitch Black, which is Delta Rain, which is the Rayquaza set. And then we have the 30-year anniversary. So if you're a fan of Chaos Rising, keep an eye on the set and the cards inside, especially if you're trying to master set this, as I think this one will fall by the wayside a little bit. It'll probably drop a little bit more before people look back, realize it's actually a decent set, and start picking it back up and then raising the value again. That's just my prediction. A little more falling over the short term, and then over the long term, it'll probably rise back up and level out. There you have it. That's the top 10 most valuable cards in the Chaos Rising set. If you've enjoyed this video, please consider leaving a like on the video.